This video is going to take you through the steps for creating a drawing both in Fusion and in Onshape. We're going to keep this fairly simple and just keep it to generating a multi-view drawing and dimensioning the multi-view drawing. So it'll cover a couple of the sections in the curriculum. We can also cover at a future point how to do a section view or a detail view, but in order to keep this video reasonably short, we will not do that. Now, when you're doing a drawing in Fusion, so I am currently in Fusion, if you have a file that is not saved and you want to make a drawing, it's going to prompt you to save it first. And so just in case you're wondering, like, why not make a drawing of this? It's going to do that, and I don't want to save that. That is from a demo. So this is actually from a toothbrush holder that I made for my parents. I think we ended up having to adjust this. So we made like places for a toothbrush and brushes and a toothpaste, and we etched the letter T on it, and we had some like drainage holes down at the bottom and stuff like that. So let's say I want to do a design. I come over here to drawing, come over here to file, and then in this drop down, you'll see new drawing, and we're going to create it from the design. Okay, and then like in a later video, we'll talk about some of the other options that are on that file menu. Okay, so it is going to have me do this from scratch. We're not using like a previous template. We're going to create a new drawing. This is in millimeters. I'm not sure we want this in millimeters. We're going to change that to ASME. And then let's just change that over to inches. Now, the sheet size has to do with the size of paper that you're using, and there are certain standard sizes that are used in engineering. Typically for our classes, though, I will have students do this on an 8.5 by 11 because that is the size of paper that we can print on, because that's like your standard printer paper. And so for practical purposes, I'll often have students do that so that I can print out the files. So we'll click OK, and then it's going to pull up our drawing. And that's kind of like a big box there. I think I might like to get rid of that. Now, as soon as this pops up, you'll notice that it's like floating around with this like place base view. I'm not sure I like this because you know your front view, you want it to have like the longest dimension and show the most detail. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click right view. I like that better. So that the menu over on the right hand side has to do with what planes I was in when I sketched it. It's not like what I consider the front. It just has to do with, like, did I use the XY plane or the YZ plane, or what did I do? So because the view that I would like to be the front view wasn't showing, I just went over there and I changed that. So it says place base view. If you look up here in the upper left, you'll notice that base view is actually highlighted. And I'm going to go ahead and click that and place it. And I don't really like that size. That's a little bit small. I'm going to change that. Let's do 1 to 5. Did that make it? Oops. No, we're going the wrong direction. Let's do 1 to 0.5. Okay. Let's do 1 to 2. I like that. Let's do 1 to 2.5. There we go. So what I'm doing there is I'm just trying to get a comfortable size so that I can fit all 4 pieces of the multi-view onto this page and have room for my dimensions without having them like super teeny tiny or so big that I don't have room for anything else. Okay, I think I like that. I'm going to click OK, and wow, you're seeing a lot of stuff in there. That's kind of like a lovely drawing. Okay, and that's my front view. So to do a multi-view drawing, though, we need to have more than just the front view. So if I come up here, you'll notice that we have projected view. We also have auxiliary view, section view, and detail view, all of which will give you different pieces of information in your drawing. We are going to keep it simple. This is our first drawing. So we're going to do projected view, and then I have to select a parent view. And what Fusion is going to do is it's going to project from the selected view. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And what you'll notice as I drag it, so I'm using my mouse and I'm dragging it up, notice that it automatically flips it to the top view. If I drag it over here, it automatically gives me the isometric. And if I drag it down here, it will automatically give me the right hand view. So those skills and the concepts that we learn for doing these by hand, there's a reason for that, and it's not negotiable. It's not up for debate where you place your views. So in Fusion, in order to place this, I just click, and then I can drag over to my next location and click and drag to my last location. And then when I'm done with it all, I'll go find the green check mark and click that. Now, this is a little cluttery because of the holes in the toothbrush holder. You're seeing all kinds of hidden lines in there that are just, they make it very hard to see stuff. What I'm doing right now, I'm just debating whether or not I want to go in and edit some of the stuff to make those invisible. I don't think I will. You know, they are what they are. Now, typically we will do one other thing. So I'm going to go and left click on this. You'll see it turn blue, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to click edit. And I would like my isometric to be solid. So in that, okay, in that view. Now, I do want to point out a couple things before we do a little bit of dimensioning on this. Notice that, that these are lined up. The isometric does not need to be lined up, but my orthographic views do. So if I click on this top view, I can move it up and down, but I can't move it left and right. And that's because it has to be lined up. I can take this right view and I can move it right and left, but I cannot move it up and down. If I take my parent view and I move that, notice that the other views automatically move along with it. So again, the idea that like it's optional whether you have the things lined up, it's not optional. That has to be how a drawing is done. Now, to dimension, we haven't, well, I don't know when you're watching this, but we have all these rules for dimensioning. And I honestly, my personal hot take is that dimensioning is probably the most difficult skill-oriented thing that we do in this class because it's so easy to get it wrong. So we need to dimension everything, but we can't over dimension. And we can place certain kinds of dimensions on certain views and so forth. So for example, the diameter of these holes can only be placed on the top view. I can't place them on this view because one of our dimensioning rules is that you cannot dimension to a hidden line. Also, diameters of circles need to be dimensioned from the view where you can see them. So I'm going to click the dimension tool. Fusion is actually pretty good about dimensioning. Let's go ahead and do these circles. Now, sometimes it's hard to grab stuff on the drawing, so I do recommend that you zoom in. And I'll go ahead and place, that's a diameter of 0.7 inches. And we want to get those off the actual drawing. We don't put dimensions. There we go. And then we have this outer diameter, which is 4 inches. And we have the inner diameter, which is 2 inches. Now, I need to get the height. Obviously, I can't get the height from that view. I need to get the width, and what I'm kind of debating is like how many things do I have on this view down here. I think I'm good for that. So let's go ahead. We'll get this at 4 inches, and that tells you, ooh, that did not grab the right thing. I wanted to get the base view. Let me delete it. Select, delete. Oh, there it is. Okay. I wanted to get the bottom part. I'm gonna try to get it over here. There we go. 4 inches. Now, typically, I don't want dimensions on that outer margin. So if there's a way for me to move it, I will. I need to get the dimensions on the T here. So I'm going to go from one side to the next. And we won't do the whole T because we want to move on with this video. But and then I need to get the top to the bottom. Did not give me what I wanted. I want to get the top of the T to the bottom of the T. There we go. And we'll move that out here. We also need to get the height of the entire thing. We need to get the height of that piece of it, which I can't quite see where I put it. That's all right. And we have these like little drainage holes. You know what, that's getting a little bit crowded. I'm gonna go ahead and do the drainage hole over here. Now we wanna be careful. I don't wanna measure the height over here because I have the height on there already. And so that we wanna avoid the over dimensioning. On this view, I think the only thing that we need, this is a square base that I designed it on, but we don't know that necessarily unless we are told that that circle is tangent to the square. So we'll go ahead and we'll include that dimension going in that direction. And then I'd like to get the diameter of that little hole. Specify a point. Let's see if it will. It's giving it to me for like a split second. There we go. And notice how I manage that by going in. All right, so that's how you would generate your drawing and do your dimensioning. Now, depending on where we are in the curriculum when you're watching this, don't do the dimensioning unless we've covered those rules for dimensioning. So if you haven't, like if we haven't gone over the rules for that, then don't do it. I did sort of violate a couple of the rules for where the placement of these numbers are. It's not like a rule violation. It's like you can do it. You just have to make sure that you justify why you can do it. Other couple things to do when you're doing dimensions, you put the largest dimensions the furthest away and then the smaller dimensions kind of underneath or closer to the object so that they are not, these lines here, these vertical lines are not crossing each other. You want to try to avoid that as much as possible. So like the 4.5 is further away than the 1.3. I wouldn't want the 1.3 out here because then I would have like leader lines crossing dimension lines and so forth. And then you want to try to keep as many dimensions as possible in that inner spot. If you have to put a dimension on the outer margins, like there just needs to be a clear reason for it. And my clear reason is like I'm not going to take my leader line and cut across the object. You also do not put the dimensions on the figure itself. So all of the dimensions have to go off of the actual sketch. Last thing is if you actually have too many dimensions and it's too crowded, what you would do is you'd create another sheet with some of those views on it. So you would just kind of try to clear it up. While I'm looking at it, we can look at a section view. A section view slices in to an object and cuts away. And you can drag that out and it would actually show you the inside. So this is telling you that it's hollow on the inside. And so you click section view and click where you want to slice it. And those hash marks indicate solid material. And so what that tells you is that that hole goes all the way down on the inside. So you could use that. That makes this drawing a little bit cluttered. But okay, so that is on Fusion. On Onshape, we are going to do something similar. We are going to, let's see, what do I want to do? Let's look at my demonstration files. And we've got this funny little demo revolve, so we'll open that up. And we're going to create a drawing. And so what I did was I right-clicked on the part, which in this case is not named, and we have create drawing of part 1. I believe I can also click down here on that little plus sign and create a drawing there. And we will choose that template. I know there are more like templates, and so this was the one that I had to pick for something else. So we'll just go ahead and use that one. But you've got your ANSI templates and your ISO templates and so forth. So we'll click OK. And just like with Fusion, it opens up a sheet. We didn't get to pick like the size of the sheet, and I have not done enough in Onshape to know where to do that. We can look at the view scale, and because I don't know what this is going to look like, here we go. That's what it looks like. So this is a 1:4 scale. Let's try like 1:5. I'm not sure that looks any different to me. No. Well, and we'll choose the front view and we'll place it. And there it is. Now, as with, not with Fusion, you actually have to click on the projected view, but you'll notice that as soon as I click that, it was giving me that option to do the projected views. So if I click up here, you can see I'm automatically getting the top view. I can click back down here and if you look over here at what's highlighted, it is projected view, which is the same thing. Now, this design is kind of unique. In this particular design, you'll notice that the front view and the right view are exactly the same. So we would not actually even include that right view. So I've got the circle of death down there and inadvertently did something I didn't want to do. I would like to delete that. So standard procedure with your multi-view drawings is if you have a view of it that you don't need, you have to get rid of it. So it's we're not supposed to have extra stuff cluttering your drawing. I'm going to right click on this, and when I right click, there's a bunch of menu options, and again, I'm not as comfortable with this. I actually just learned how to do drawings in Onshape about an hour and a half ago. But you can pick to show the hidden lines. On the isometric, we're going to show shaded view. And there we go. Just took a second to show the shaded view on that. Now with dimensioning in Onshape, this dimensioning is a little bit different. In Fusion, you just click the dimensioning tool just like you do when you're sketching, and you can like hover over anything and it will just know like, okay, this is a circle or whatnot. In Onshape, there's actually a drop-down menu. So you can measure like from one line to another line, line to line, like get the angle between the lines. You can have a diameter dimension. So this, what I made this with, we're going to do diameter dimensions on this. So remember that we need to see the circles, the actual circles to get the diameters, and then I'm going to drag them out. And as with Fusion, if you have trouble grabbing something, go ahead and grab it like so. So there are the diameters of all the circles. I would like to do a 2-point linear dimension, which will just measure the distance between 2 points. And I would like the distance from the very top to the very bottom. So that I would like that distance. And then we might do a point to a line. So we could do like a point to this line here. And I think if I do that, it's going to end up getting very, very cluttered just because of what this design is. Now in Onshape, if you would like to make annotations, you can click on the dimension. Now I have to deselect that. So I have to hit escape and then click on this and then left click. Maybe. And it brings up this. This is our like dimensioning panel. So you can add symbols. So if you don't have a diameter symbol, but you need a diameter symbol, you can go ahead and add it. I can add, these are whole note symbols, which we will cover at some point. So if you're making a whole note, you could add some symbols there. But like I can add that to the front of it, but I don't really want to. I can also put notes over here and it will add them to, so now I have the word circle, which is kind of useless, but there you go. All right, so I hope that this video is good at explaining how to generate your basic drawings in Fusion and in Onshape, as well as how to use some of the basic dimensioning tools. If I click on the drop down menu, that's where in Onshape you'll see some of the other dimensioning or other views. So we'll do like that section view again, and we'll draw it out from the side, and it gives me that like cross section of the, like, what does it look like on the inside when you slice it? Pretty much that's showing that it's solid. So you wouldn't do a section view for this, but you would do a section view for anything that might be hollow or have hollow pieces, or you want to show the depth of a hole and so forth. So we will do more with drawings as we go through the course. This is just the intro video, and it is over 20 minutes long in spite of everything. So let me know if you have questions or if things act up in terms of getting either of these programs to work, and we will take it from there.